We have a draft to do, and it's in the spirit of Jamal Adams wanting out of the Jets. Players who would get more recognition from a change of scenery. The trivia question goes to you, Big Cat, and it's very simple. What position did Jamal Adams' father, George, play in the NFL?
Wide receiver.
Close. Running back / fullback. So,
that counts. That counts. Okay,
it counts. All right.
No, go ahead. You go first. You go first.
I am going first once I get my notes here. Here's where I'm starting. One of the guys that always finds a way to be one of my picks, whatever the draft may be. I am going to go with Russell Wilson. Yes, I am. Russell Wilson, relegated to the Pacific Northwest, where he does not have the kind of national following that he should have. And one of these days, Russell Wilson is going to be on a team with a higher profile. One of these days, Russell Wilson is going to be regarded as much more of a star than he currently is once he's off at the Seahawks. And I know the Seahawks have a very loyal and ardent fan base, but it's not that crossover national appeal that he otherwise could have if he was playing, say, for a New York team. So Russell Wilson would benefit from a change of scenery. And I say that because I believe deep down Russell Wilson believes he would benefit from a change of scenery.
Wow. Mike, okay, so you're talking about outside of the football field. I was thinking more inside the football field. I'll start with those jerseys, by the way. I love those. I know some people just hate them. The color rush.
I hate them.
I know, because you don't have an eye for beautiful things. Okay. Listen, I'm going to go with number one. What was that? What were you going to say?
Nothing. I'm not saying anything.
Okay.
Go ahead. I don't know why anybody likes those. Hey, look, when you pick a highlighter, do you pick the hideous lime green highlighter, or do you just pick the yellow one? It's that hideous lime green highlighter that nobody ever buys, and they had to discontinue it. That's what that jersey is. Okay, I'm done.
I like it. I think it looks cool. I'm going to go with my first pick, A.J. Green. A.J. Green is a little bit later in his career. I think Joe Burrow is going to be a fantastic quarterback in the NFL. But, of course, when you have a rookie quarterback, it takes some time. A.J. Green has expressed that he would like to be somewhere else. I think we kind of forget about who A.J. Green is and how fantastic he is. And I think that if he went to a big marketplace with, where he was the featured wide receiver, we'd be talking about A.J. Green in a little bit of a different light.
I don't disagree with that, but for the fact that he didn't play at all last year, not because of the Bengals, but because he was injured. We've kind of forgotten about A.J. Green. And I agree with you. It's time for him to play somewhere else, and maybe after this year that he will. And I think that anybody who is mired on the Bengals as they've been is going to be forgotten and overlooked. But at the same time, things may change. Now, that may be the great irony here. A.J. Green may be winding up his time in Cincinnati just as they're on the cusp of unlocking a team that is a consistent contender. If your friend Joe Burrow becomes the guy that and my friend too. I'm going to count myself as a friend. I've talked to him. We got along. Anyway, I'll go with AJ. I agree with you on AJ Green. My next one is Matthew Stafford, Detroit Lions quarterback. I feel like and look, Chris Sims put him in the top 10, number 9 for Stafford. A couple of years ago, Sims had Matthew Stafford at number 3, top 3 quarterback in the NFL. And it just, look, it's a chicken and the egg type of a thing. People think the Lions have continued to be bad because Stafford isn't good enough to make them better. Others would say they continue to be bad just because they're bad, and they've been bad for 60 years, and that's just kind of the way it is. That team has such deep-seated dysfunction that even a great quarterback can't pull them out of it. I'd like to see, mainly as a laboratory experiment, what Matthew Stafford would do if you put him with a better organization, with a better cast of characters, with a front office that was not trying to shed decades of dysfunction. Would Stafford become that star that he's always deserved to be?
That's a good pick, Mike. That's a good pick. I will stay in the NFC North for my next pick, and I do this out of the kindness of my heart. I think Aaron Rodgers has been mistreated. I think the Packers have not supported him. I think the Packers have given him mixed messages. I think drafting Jordan Love was an affront to Aaron Rodgers and all he's done for Green Bay. I think not drafting wide receiver weapons was a slap in his face. And I'll just sit here and say this, Aaron Rodgers, you should probably demand a trade because it's not fair what the Packers are doing to you, and you would benefit from a change of scenery. That's just me being a nice guy.
I know. I'm sure. Yes, absolutely. That's, it reminds me of what Vikings coach Mike Zimmer said to the media after the first round of the draft this year when they asked him for his reaction on the Packers trading up to take quarterback Jordan Love. Zimmer said, well, that they should trade Aaron Rodgers now. The other teams
I think
in the
I agree with
North,
Mike Zimmer. Yeah.
They would love to see Aaron Rodgers get traded. And the thing is, after this year, there's a chance he will be. After this year, and at the latest after next year. Once you go all in with Jordan Love, and when you trade up to get Jordan Love, you're telling the world at some point he's going to be your quarterback. The question is, how many more years will Aaron Rodgers be the guy? So not that it's going to happen now. It could happen after this season. I think after 2021, it becomes far more likely that Rodgers is going to move out. Because, look, he's going to get into that Jamal Adams mindset if he isn't already there, where he wants to go. We typically look at a player getting traded from the perspective of what the team wants. We are in an era, it's not quite the NBA yet, but we are in an era where football players are realizing they do have more power, especially a quarterback. It's one thing to say to a running back, a receiver, a lineman, hey, you got a contract, you play for us or you play for no one. You try to do that to a quarterback who wants out. The quarterback says, fine, I'm not showing up early. I'm not staying late. I'm not watching film at home. I'm not doing anything other than the bare minimum. I'm not going to hold my teammates accountable. I'm not going to be that quasi-member of management that you need the starting quarterback to be. I'm just not going to do it. And if you want me here and I don't want to be here and I do the bare minimum, good luck winning football games. And I think that's an element of leverage that the other players on a team don't have, Big Cat.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think we both agree. Aaron Rodgers, demand a trade right now.
Today. Mm-hmm. Demand a trade. Package deal with Jamal Adams. Trade Aaron Rodgers to the Jets straight up for Jamal Adams, although NFC North teams would probably not want Jamal Adams in the division either. All right, I'm going to go with, and this is going to surprise you, and I'll explain myself. I'm going with Alvin Kamara. Because there are people in the Saints organization that believe that Alvin Kamara is every bit as good as Christian McCaffrey, if not better. The problem is the Saints don't use running backs the way that the Panthers are using Christian McCaffrey. If Alvin Kamara truly wants to become, and I don't know what his agenda is, maybe he's happy being a part-time player. Maybe he's happy being a smaller piece in a larger machine. Maybe he understands it extends his career and he's more likely to play into his 30s than Christian McCaffrey, who has all these touches and all the contact and all the potential injuries. But Alvin Kamara would become a superstar in the National Football League if he was on a team that gave him the ball the number of times that Christian McCaffrey gets the ball. It's that simple. So whether he wants it or not, his profile would definitely be elevated if he was playing for a team that made him the workhorse the way the Panthers have made McCaffrey the workhorse in Carolina.
Okay, you know what I'm going to do, Mike? My last pick, I'm going to go mano-a-mano with you on this one. And my last pick is going to be Christian McCaffrey. I think Christian McCaffrey would benefit from a change of scenery, and here's why. The Panthers are rebuilding. The Panthers are starting over. Teddy Bridgewater, nice quarterback, probably a stopgap. They've kind of gutted. Cam Newton's gone. Luke Kuechly's gone. The face of the franchise is kind of gone, right? Now it's going to be Christian McCaffrey, but it's still the Carolina Panthers. That's not a marquee franchise. Here's what's also going to happen, Mike. I expect the Panthers to probably not win a lot of games the next few years. They're probably not going to be in the playoffs. What happens to Hall of Fame type players that don't get that playoff experience, don't play those huge games? There's a ceiling to where they can go in terms of the lore of the NFL. Christian McCaffrey is a fantastic player. If Christian McCaffrey was a piece on a playoff team, we would be talking about him in a lot different light than we're talking about him right now, where there will be a lot of empty yards, so to speak, where Christian McCaffrey puts up great stats on a team that doesn't win. And that's always a different conversation than a guy who puts up great stats on a team that does win and is in the conversation for a Super Bowl. So my pick is Christian McCaffrey.
So basically what we have agreed here is that the Saints and the Panthers should trade Alvin Kamara for Christian McCaffrey.
Yes, exactly. Right? That would elevate both of them. Yes.
You know what? It's crazy enough that it actually at some level has some appeal. The problem is in New Orleans, Christian McCaffrey would not be Christian McCaffrey. He'd be Alvin Kamara because they would not give him the ball as much as he gets it in Carolina. But his career would be extended, and he'd be part of a team that is competing for playoff positioning and championships. So there's merit to both points. All right, let's do one more round very quickly. All
right, can I do the first one? I'll go first.
Sure, go ahead. All
right, Taysom Hill. We'll stay with the Saints. Taysom Hill is a franchise quarterback. Taysom Hill is a franchise quarterback who is just waiting to blossom. Someone needs to let Taysom Hill out of this box. Let him be a franchise quarterback. Let him be the face of a franchise. Let him throw the ball 60 times a game. That's just a fact. So Taysom Hill would benefit from a change of scenery.
This was a nice, reasonable draft until you decided to let your nature. You do a good job, and you've been doing an excellent job today. It must be the new apartment. You have not been an ass at all today. It took 74 minutes. The over-under was 72.5 minutes. You just barely got the over of when you were going to be an ass today, and you make me regret that I went to a fourth round. If we're doing a real fourth round, how about this? How about Erin Donald on a new team? Not that the Rams would ever do it. Not that they'd ever do it. But, I feel like that team's disintegrating. I feel like that team is quickly falling apart. I feel like Erin Donald needs to be on a team where that dominance is going to be look at what Khalil Mack did for the Bears for one year. It was only for 1 year. But think about what Erin Donald could be if you plugged him into a team that had all the other pieces and that felt like the arrow was pointing up. I just feel like the arrow is flat or pointing down for the Rams right now, especially in that division.
L.A., Hard Knocks, new stadium, you're wrong. Give me Taysom Hill.
Nobody cares. Nobody cares about the Rams in L.A. Isn't that weird? For what team
nationally, isn't that the whole play with the L.A. teams?
I don't know that anybody cares about the LA teams. And then they come out with these new uniforms that are just hideous. And I know the new stadium is going to be great. If you watch them on TV, who cares? I think, look, the Chargers talking this week about signing Colin Kaepernick. And I know that Anthony Lynn isn't bringing him in anytime soon, but he's made it clear that he's on the list in the event that they need someone. If the Chargers would make that move, they would leave the Rams in the dust, both locally and nationally. But I think Erin Donald he's the one long-term contract decision they've made that's worked out really well in the past 5 years. They're not ever going to let him go. He's one of those untouchable players, but he would benefit, I think, from being on a team. Bring him back to Pittsburgh. Wouldn't he be something as a member of the Steelers? Wouldn't that just be the ultimate move to get him back in Pittsburgh, where he played college football? And it's almost like the Jerome Bettis move. Remember, he was a Ram before he became a Steeler. So it's not going to happen, but it's fun to talk about.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.